Good morning, everyone. I am back at Disneyland today. I stopped by Buena Park to have some breakfast at Porto's Bakery. First off, I never went to the Buena Park location. It's a gorgeous location. I'll put a quick picture of the food that I got, the breakfast wrap, the cheese roll, and a cortadito. Everything was delicious. It did take a little bit longer than I expected. They are a little bit slower than like the Burbank or Glendale locations, but if you're coming up from LA or you're staying in the area, I definitely recommend that for breakfast. We are going into Disneyland first today, and then we'll head over to California Adventure. As always, I love seeing Oogie Boogie back there. I'm not quite sure what the plan will be for today. I'm not going to eat too much food, but there are some things I want to try that are new both for the holiday season and or Halloween season specifically, and just new to me, like the Jack Jack cookie. I really want to try that. But I did get here a little bit late. It's almost 8:30 right now, and the crowds are decent size, you know, not too bad on the Disneyland side, and California Adventure is even smaller, as you can see behind me. And I did not get a Rise of the Resistance boarding group today. I didn't try for it because I was kind of testing the waters to see if there would be any availability afterwards, and I hopped on around 7:30 and everything was full. I'll try it for sure at noon, but I'll keep checking throughout the day to see if anything does open. I did park at the Toy Story parking lot this morning. Usually I park at like the Mickey and Friends or the Pixar Pals, and with that one you have to actually walk that long tramway path that everyone is complaining about. With the Toy Story lot, they do have the buses that come pick you up and drop you off right at the security gate, and they do check your bags before getting on the bus. And then once you do get to the actual park, they have like a separate entrance for you, so you don't have to take out everything from your pockets and open your bags again. It took maybe 10 minutes from boarding to, you know, having everyone else get on and actually being dropped off. Depending on how fast you walk, it might be about the same or a little bit slower than, or faster I should say, than walking, but I do tend to walk fast. But it is nice not to have to walk that long way. I think distance wise it might be about the same, almost a mile length to walk. Let's head on into the parks and see what this day is gonna have for us today.
That you're conspiring with the resistance.
Who, me?
Are these reports true?
No.
Nervous, invasive, suspicious. Excellent. Hold on. We've tracked an unauthorized connection to this data pad. Stick to civilian channels. Civilian.
Will do.
All I'm hearing is static. Affirmative. I'm keeping my eye on you. I'll be watching you. That is affirmative.
I think I mentioned this before, but one of the most controversial food items at Galaxy's Edge or any, I think, Disney park is the blue and green milk. I personally have always liked the blue milk more than the green milk. They're not great. I definitely like the blue milk in Oga's Cantina more, and there is a difference. It really is different, both in texture and flavor. And plus you get the Banta cookie if you're in Oga's Cantina, if they don't run out, because they tend to run out pretty early. But the Toydaria swirl is the green milk with some tahine and I want to say maybe chamoy or other like fruit blend seasoning mixture concoction, something in there. And this one is really good. It doesn't have that same taste as the green milk because you're kind of getting it covered up with all the seasoning, and it adds some tanginess, a little sweetness, different textures with the fruit. And yeah, this is definitely a must try.
I have a bad feeling about this. Stand back from those doors.
This ship is now under control of the First Order. Off the ship, resistance sympathizers. Off the ship, proceed to interrogate enemies of the First Order. Sympathizers. Off the ship.
just got done with Rise of the Resistance again. You can see the line behind me. Now, that's why I really urge everyone to do their best to get on Rise in the morning at the 7 a.m. Boarding group session, if you're able to get a boarding group, of course. And part of that is the earlier boarding groups, not that many people actually make it either at the beginning of their times or at their times at all, because as you know, you can do the boarding group queue from anywhere, from home, from your hotel, from the park. So a lot of people will be doing it on the way to the park, and either they're late to the park or they don't make it till later. Of course, if you miss your time, I have heard exceptions where you can still get on the ride, but that just means less people for you to, you know, manage through or deal with while waiting in line. So typically, if I'm in the first maybe 50 boarding groups, it's a 10-minute wait. And today, after the noon boarding group session, I was group 133, and I was in line for at least half an hour. Nothing too bad, because at least then when you're in line, you can look at all the artifacts and props and replicas and designs and everything that they built. So that is one good offset from it, but just know that you're gonna wait in line a little bit longer later in the day, regardless of your boarding group. I think I mentioned this before, folks, but don't forget, when you want to take pictures in front of the castle, there's almost always a long line. It's about 9:45 in the morning, and I don't really see a line anywhere. There's just a few people jumping in for photos or taking their own photos, but typically around like 11:30 to 2 tends to be the slower period, because everyone's either going to lunch or park hopping. So if you catch a moment in the morning or any time of the day where you see a crowd this low, definitely get a picture. Or if you want to come back later, then definitely check around that noonish time period. If I can offer maybe 2 more pieces of advice if you're visiting not just Disneyland and DCA, but any theme park, take a moment to appreciate and look at all the little things, like go into all the stores, check out the restaurant menus, look at all the details in the lands and architecture and everything, because you'd be surprised how much detail and how much attention to detail there actually is. Or even going into those stores, you'll be surprised with the merchandise you may find, whether you want it or not. Sometimes you think, wow, I didn't know they had that here, or I didn't know they sold such and such item. But that's just something I like to enjoy, or I like enjoying to look at or experience, just going into all the stores. And sometimes it might be a store that you have no interest in, but just to have an idea in case someone in the future maybe asks you, hey, do they have an Oogie Boogie backpack, let's say. And I know that is a common thing, but you'll know, like, yeah, I saw it in DCA and not Disneyland, or, you know, vice versa, whatever it may be. Or even going to Galaxy's Edge, I go there every time I'm here. I spend hours there, and there's always something new and different I'll see. And especially in a place like Doc Ondar's, where they'll change a lot of the helmets or characters or props, and you might see something different whether it's changed or not every time you go. So it's just something fun and another cool way to experience the parks when you do visit. I made my way over to DCA and one little break. I couldn't really decide what to eat, like food-wise, but I've been wanting to try some of these pretzels. I think in Disneyland there's a place that has the pretzel or pretzel bread with pimento cheese, and I just forgot about it while I was in line ordering this. But I came over to Sonoma Terrace to get the Bavarian pretzel with cheese sauce and a beer. So it's a good size pretzel. All in all, with the discount, I think it was under $20, I think. Of course, the majority of the price being the beer. This is the Golden Road Blondie. Not bad, nice and cold. And I typically like the blonde or golden ales. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I like the lighter golden color beers. And the pretzel, it's just bread. I was kind of hoping for more of like a good pretzel taste. Maybe one of the other spots will have a better pretzel, but I still need to try the cream cheese and jalapeno cheese filled pretzels. I know everyone goes crazy for that, but then again, people go crazy for a lot of things that I don't really agree with. But for a small snack, you know, I can't really go wrong with this, and I'd rather have something small like this than spend more money on a meal that I might not like. So we are probably gonna head over to Guardians. Monsters break out now, and maybe Radiator Springs, depending how the crowd levels are. I know Monsters just started and it was already like a 55-minute wait. Radiator is like a 65-minute wait, but we've got all the rest of the day. Weather's cooling down, it's getting overcast. It's a pretty nice day so far. Here's a little advice, or I guess expectation, to expect the unexpected. I was in front of Guardians and it changed over to Monsters After Dark after 3 o'clock. And you know, the line was crazy long, but they hadn't updated the wait time yet. And at about 4:30, I was in front of Guardians and the wait time said 80 minutes. So I'm like, let me go over to Soarin' and it'll be about a half-hour wait. Hopefully by then the lines die down here. So I ran over to Guardians and everyone else saw the wait time change to 20 minutes at around 4:45. So about 15 minutes later, and the line is, well, I can't see it now, but basically going down to to like the shower of a palace. You can see, maybe you can see the line through the gates. Yeah, so it's back up again, and we were talking to the cast member and the lead who came over, and he's like, yeah, the wait time changed and everyone just ran over here. So we don't know the current wait time. It is moving fairly fast, but yeah, just expect those sudden changes within a 10-15 minute period. It literally went from 80-minute wait to a 20-minute wait back to, the cast member said maybe about 35 minutes or so, and it's moving fairly fast. So if you have nothing else to do, you know, just might as well wait for one ride over another. But yeah, just expect those really quick sudden changes. I just got done with Guardians. I swear, it's one of the funnest rides, but Monsters After Dark makes it even more fun. Got on about 4:45, got in line, and it's 5:15, so just about half an hour. And as you can see, the line is still pretty crazy, so now is the time you're going to expect it to be a pretty long wait. Just keep an eye on the wait times. It might change throughout the night, just like I happened to get in line right on time. So half an hour from a 20-minute estimate wasn't too bad. It's probably back up to like a 45, maybe 60-minute wait now, but it's absolutely worth it. As I'm trying the Cozy Cone Macaron today, it is a peanut butter and pretzel filled, I think it was, but it doesn't look like peanut butter, it looks like chocolate, and I better bite into it before it breaks. Oh, that's good. It's not overly peanut butter, it's not overly sweet, a little bit of chocolate flavor too, and I think there's one more, maybe the pretzel in there. Let me get a bite of that. I definitely recommend that. And I know with me, I don't like peanut butter cups all the time when there's too much peanut butter and not a good balance of chocolate with it. This is a nice balance of chocolate and peanut butter. And then macaron, it's a little bit softer than I like. I know, like the Mickey Mac Rose, Red Rose, whatever, raspberry macaron from Disneyland, Jolly Holiday, I'm forgetting all the names right now. It's really crispy, really light and airy. This one's a little bit softer, but the cookie is still light and has a nice little crisp to it, and it has a nice offset texture to contrast with the sweetness and the creaminess of the filling too. All right, folks, so we are back in Batu. Of course, where else would I be? I swear I'm in Batu probably 90% of my days at Disney. I'm gonna go for Smuggler's Run because I just realized I have not been on Smuggler's Run since the opening of Galaxy's Edge. And that was 2019. I didn't go, I went twice, or like, yeah, the first 2 weekends Galaxy's Edge opened, I went on Smuggler's Run. And then back when Rise of the Resistance opened, I didn't go on Smuggler's Run. You know, ever since the parks finally reopened and I got my passes and everything, I've always been going on Rise. And Smuggler's typically has a long wait. And since I typically come alone, I've kind of been debating if I want to either join another party or just go in the cockpit solo. I figure, you know what, why not? I'm not really going on any other rides today, so we're gonna do that. And then I found out that the Haunted Mansion does like a lighting ceremony of sorts around 7:20-ish. The cast member wasn't quite sure if it was 7:20, 7:30, somewhere between that time. So I'm gonna get back there a little bit early to check that out. I don't know if that's a new thing. I've never seen it before, but a few of the other Disney vloggers and friends I've made, they shared it from either a few days ago or last week. I definitely want to go check that out. And I think I'm gonna get one more treat today, which, another thing I almost forgot to grab, the Jack Jack Num Num cookie. I've never had that. I've always wanted to try it. We're gonna try that before I leave today, and I'll give my verdict on whether it's a well worth it chocolate chip cookie or something you should avoid. Stay tuned.
The more you earn, and if Every night, when the air is gently still, that is the time when ghosts are present, practicing their terror with ghoulish delight. But tonight, in honor of the arrival of Santa Claus, they are gathering for a Yuletide celebration that they hope will raise your spirits. You're all invited as they cast an eerie glow upon the mansion to light the way for Santa Claus. Join us. Scream along. Joyfully good evening. Merry Christmas to all and to all.
Don't tell me you're passing by without saying hello.
See how giant they are. They are $6. There's no Magic Key discount. I kind of wish there was, but for $6, I'm hoping, you know, it's well worth it. That is a good chocolate chip cookie. That is a great chocolate chip cookie. The thing is like a chocolate chip pie. Look at that. The big chunks of chocolate. All gooey, it's all still melty. They bring it right out fresh from the little conveyor belt oven, so it's nice and warm. The chocolate is like dripping. That is a good, it's a good chocolate chip cookie. It's well worth the $6. The edges are nice and crispy. The center is chewy and chocolatey and gooey and melty. The only thing that would make this a perfect chocolate chip cookie eating experience was an ice cold glass of milk. They do sell milk at the cookie stand. It's $2.25 for a little carton. My mother raised me better than that, so overpay for milk. Then I can get a whole quart or a half gallon for that price, if not less. So I'll just go grab some free water from one of the restaurants, but yeah, next time I should just bring my own glass of milk and have this. But this is rich, it's decadent. I'm glad I didn't eat much today because I probably wouldn't have enjoyed all of this, or maybe even most of it, if I was eating like big meals. But I ate just a few snacks here and there other than breakfast, and this will give me a nice little sugar jolt to drive back home. I was able to find the Remy shoulder plush. I went to Disneyland because I kept seeing people with them. I thought this was only a Walt Disney World thing because Ratatouille and that whole Paris section just opened. But today, I saw a bunch of people with this plush, and I'm thinking, did everyone from Florida decide to come today? So I asked one of the Emporium, the cast members, and said they're sold out, but come over to DCA, Pixar, this one, where I'm sitting, the Pixar store right here on Pixar Pier. I asked her, she's like, yep, we got a whole shelf full of them. So perfect. And I have the pork plush, which, you know, I do have a review for. you have the magnet piece that just clips on, and there's this giant tag. She asked me, do you want the tag cut off? I thought she meant this one, but she just meant the one that attaches the little magnet. You just put it on your shoulder, and there you go. And it's pretty strong, you know, it's not gonna, if you go on a roller coaster, yeah, it'll probably fly off. Not probably, it definitely will fly off. Right here, if you're walking around or eating, you know, you got your perfect little companion. Just make sure he's lined up with the magnet. And the magnet on the flat piece is pretty much larger than the actual magnet on the, or the plush itself, so you won't have trouble trying to line it up or get it right in the middle. But yeah, nice little guy. We don't get too many Ratatouille items at all, let alone, you know, in Disneyland or outside of Disneyland or the Shop Disney or Disney store. So this is a nice little treat for us little or big Ratatouille fans. The other item I bought, which I don't know if this is new, I've never seen it before, maybe I have and didn't pay attention or realize what it was, my adventure book. This is a replica from the movie Up. And you know, almost everything, I can't remember exactly what was in it. Of course, it's all of Ellie's adventures that she wants to go on. But there's a little note that says it's a replica, if you want to pause that to read it. And we've got a image of South America there. We've got little cutouts. And there's a few pages like this and stuff I'm going to do. And I know at home I have a bunch of like travel magazines and travel books and just magazine cutouts and notes on random pieces of paper of things I want to do. So now I have an excuse to consolidate it all. And it's basically just one big journal that you can write in, and of course make it like your own kind of like a scrapbook or collection. Just like Ellie did, just piece together whatever you want. And the last page, of course, has that. For these, you do get your Magic Key discount. That wraps up my day here at Disneyland and DCA. I got here just after 8 o'clock. You know, I went to Porto's first, had a nice little breakfast. I walked, I think, 25,000 steps. So it's been a pretty good and long, tiring day. Now that I do have a pass, I need to learn to kind of slow things down and not have to do everything. Not that I'm doing everything, because I'm not going on all the roller coasters and eating all the food, but you know, because I've never had a pass, I'm just excited to stay and do as much as I can and do things that I wouldn't normally do. So I did want to do the Animation Academy, but the last, or I think Jack Skellington was the one I wanted to do, but he was pretty late by the time I did see the schedule. His next one wasn't until 9 o'clock, and I'm going to be heading out of here by then. So I will be back again in October, and I'll definitely make sure to do Jack Skellington and some other characters for that. And just keep on seeing what else I run into. So thank you all for tuning in. If there's anything you want me to cover or show or see or do, please let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to experience something new or experience things I have done before and share that with you all. Make sure to like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to support me, I've got my Amazon wishlist down below and my Ko-Fi and Buy Me a Coffee, whatever those links are. It's all down in the description. Give me a follow on Instagram to stay up to date on more current events and outings. But until then, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.